Well, hello there. It's coffee time a little later today. I ended up sleeping late this morning and got out of bed at 10:30 in the morning, which is very, very rare for me. I'm usually a 7 or 8 o'clock man myself. But today was last night was a late night, and today was one of those days where I woke up around 7 and said, I have nothing to do this morning, so I am going to go back to sleep. And took a well-deserved extra couple hours and loved it. It was wonderful. This morning I was sitting around thinking about what kind of daily message or kind of video I can put out today. I thought about a lot of the times where someone has come up to me and I've had a negative emotional reaction. I've gotten mad, I've gotten sad, I've gotten frustrated, I've gotten angry. And I wanted to talk about that because everyone does. Everyone gets mad, everyone gets sad. The concept of spirituality is not about removing emotions. It's about understanding what emotions are and understanding and accepting who you are. I mean, you're angry because of the fact that something offended you. But here's the key. You have to question yourself as to why you're offended. Are you offended because you need to be right? Are you offended because what they did was unloving? Are you offended because it does not fit into your personal belief or challenges you in some way? Like I say, it's not about losing those emotions. It's about understanding those emotions and understanding the experiences that you're experiencing, because those experiences are the driver of you. They also tell you flat out what exactly you believe. If you get mad at somebody for something, there's a belief behind that, and if you can look at that belief, you can find out some of your own sticking points. I've often said that I do this work, and the only people who really ever come at me are the ones who are so cemented in their faith being the correct one, the right one, that they get mad when I say something that contradicts. When I look at the videos, I very rarely get dislikes on the videos, and I'm grateful for that. But when I do get dislikes, it always seems to be the ones that are the most challenging to the Christian faith, especially. It's the ones that are most challenging to that belief of being right. And I often get people who get mad and say things like, obviously this person doesn't understand the gospel. Well, I don't understand the gospel as you see it, as you interpret it, because my God is love. And so I look at that expression coming from them as them being closed-minded as to other opportunities or options. They have decided this is the end-all, be-all. There's nothing else, and so they're mad. They get frustrated. When it comes down to walking through personal life, everyone's afraid of not being loved in some form. Now, there's lots of ways of saying that. The number one thing that happens in people's lives where they express that is when they feel they're being disrespected. Well, what is disrespect? Disrespect is not giving you love. It literally is. You're reacting because you're not being loved, and you're being absolutely the opposite of love. You're being neglected, disrespected, or hated. And you can get into the story that they're telling themselves about you, and then you're living their life and not your own. Or you can choose to say, I wonder why they're not willing to hear any other options. I wonder why they are so adamant about their beliefs to the point where everybody else must be wrong. You'll notice in the comment section whenever someone challenges me, which is very, very rare, my first thing is not to yell at them or get, my first thing to do is ask them why. What's the reason why? Why are you so angry? Why are you feeling that you should judge? Why do you feel you have the power to judge others? Those are the kinds of questions that I ask, and the reason being is because they've got to come to the realization themselves, because you can't tell them what they're doing, because that makes them defensive. It makes them feel disrespected. So all I do is say, I usually start with, I respect your beliefs, but let me ask this. What about this? And I ask them a simple question, and that question typically will directly affect the belief. Will go directly at the belief that they've limited themselves with. And it's, let me just say this. I believe they've limited themselves with. I only speak from my truth. But I love hearing everybody else's truth, because sometimes I go, oh, wow, that's interesting. That might be something that I'm misinterpreting. I'm constantly assessing my faith. Constantly. I don't doubt my faith. My faith has proven very true to me. I've seen miraculous healings, and I myself have healed myself using what I believe. I've also had money come into my life. I've had relationships come into my life. I've had all kinds of things happen because of my beliefs. That's me justifying right there. That's me telling you why my thing works for me, why my beliefs work for me. I'm not in any way, by sharing that, telling you have to believe it. This is what works for me, right? But oftentimes when you're talking to someone and they have a different belief and you start sharing your beliefs, they automatically get challenged and automatically think you're trying to convince them. But I'm not trying to convince them, and most people aren't trying to convince them. They're just sharing. You're allowed to share. And the other thing is they're allowed to share too. What they're not allowed to do is dictate or subjugate and put you down and say you're wrong. And, because they don't know either. They're going on their own spiritual theories, right? I know that when you look at all of the spiritual thought that you can find out there, it all comes back to love. So there's it really couldn't hurt you to just be loving and watch what happens in your life. And when that person is across from you, they're disagreeing and they're disrespecting and all that stuff, understand that they've been shaken and they have fear of being wrong, and be loving. Say, I respect your beliefs. I just don't agree with them, and that's okay. Can we not disagree? And if they come back, well, you can't disagree because this is truth. It is your truth, not mine. And that really is interesting. Someone put up a comment yesterday, and a lot of times people who are holding on to such solid beliefs like that are doing so out of the limited knowledge that they have gleaned. Yesterday I put up in the video yesterday I put up a quote by Mother Teresa, and someone threw some vitriol at me. I won't ever do anything that the child trafficker Mother Teresa blah 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 blah. How dare you share this with your people? If you really are genuine, then you wouldn't have done this, right? Well, I just looked at it and I was like, look at the hate being spewed. Look at the vitriol being spewed. Now, do 2 minutes of... she also said that the people who know what's going on in the world, meaning that she knew and I didn't. And I was like, that's really interesting. So I'd never heard anything about Mother Teresa and child trafficking. So I did a few minutes of Google research. What did I find? 2 members of Mother Teresa's order are being investigated for child trafficking. Okay? There's 4,000 nuns and hundreds of thousands of lay persons in Mother Teresa's order. Mother Teresa, who is long dead, hasn't been around for a long time, right? So this person is claiming that Mother Teresa was a child trafficker. because two people in the order that she belonged to, or the order that she started, are being investigated for that. Right? She doesn't have the person who said this does not have the information. They're working from limited information. When someone starts coming at you, and they're spouting their limited information as belief, as faith, and they're arguing that their limited information is correct, then there's nowhere else to go. There's nowhere else to go but to fight you back. And, that famous quote that I love to quote all the time, when the debate is lost, slander becomes the tool of the loser. They get mad, they get frustrated, they start yelling, calling you names, they start, effectively doing that. Understand, they're the ones that are in fear. They're the ones who are angry. Anger is nothing but a fear-based reaction. That's all it is. They're the ones in fear. Don't feed them their fear back to them. Love them fully. Let them have their belief. It's their journey. It's their experience. They're allowed to have it. This person who made the comment about Mother Teresa, I responded to her. I shared the information about the people of Mother Teresa's order. I then said, if I was to follow the logic that you're presenting, then all Catholics are evil because of pedophile priests. And I gave the example of my mother having her master's degree in liturgy and being head of liturgical doctrine in the Catholic Church and being the most loving person I know. And my mom's not evil, right? And I use that as an example. She didn't respond, and after a while of not responding, I said, do I really want that vitriol up on the site? So I just decided, if she's going to start a conversation, with hate and anger and frustration because she believes something with limited knowledge and would not listen to anybody else, that's not the person that's going to be. That I don't want that on the site. So I just hid her from the channel. Now she has the opportunity to see everything that's being put out, and she has the opportunity to, watch everything that I'm still putting out. So I'm not really limiting her from seeing anything. I'm just limiting her from commenting, and I'm also limiting her from coming in and affecting our day, our beliefs. So there's no reason for us to get in a bad mood because someone was challenged and fearful and threw up some junk to make themselves feel powerful. And that in your life, when someone's coming at you, they're coming at you from a very specific point of view. When you go at somebody else, why are you mad? Why are you frustrated? Are you working from limited belief? Are you working from limited information? Are you challenged in your belief? And if so, why are you challenged? What's the challenge? How can your belief, your faith, be challenged? And if it's challenged, maybe you should look at that and say, why would I in any way be, or shape or form, be challenged? Because if it's my belief and it's true to me, then why would it be challenged? Because maybe I don't have as much faith in it. Maybe I don't have as much belief in it. And maybe I need to look at that. The thing is, when someone says a contradiction to what you're believing, that means there's a contradiction. There is a contradiction. Whether it's your belief or not, there's a contradiction. And that contradiction should be looked at and explored. Do I believe that? No, I don't believe that. Do I need them to believe that? No. It's their journey. Spirituality is a personal journey. And so, let people have their path. Let the people have their journey. And when you have your emotional reaction, look at your own journey and saying, why am I challenged? And look at that. You guys have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon. See ya. Bye. Hey guys, thank you so much for your support of the channel. Every day I pour my heart into creating these videos so that they bring value. That's my goal. That's my intention. And if they have brought value to you and you have the means, directly below this video, you're going to see a donation link. You can donate as little or as much as you'd like if you have found value. Also, You can go to johnofnew.com, pick up my regression, which is the moment of me meeting Jeshua and witnessing the crucifixion is on that regression. My meditations, my mini courses, even prints of my Jeshua painting are available on the johnofnew.com website. So if you have the means and you would like to make a purchase or make a donation, please feel free, because this channel solely exists by your generosity. And I am completely grateful to you for allowing me to speak my truth and hopefully bringing value to you. You guys have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon. See ya. Bye.